This is the airbox, or air filter housing, if you like, and this thing has torque screws holding it down, so it's kind of annoying, but I'll get the parts and I'll assemble them over here. And they probably expect you to undo this or that, maybe. It's not very tight. No, if I can get this camera to stay still, so that's not tight, so I don't know why, but yeah, that's bad. That means that's sucking dirt in, so unless it's, yeah, we'll pull it off, we'll have a look, but that shouldn't be loose like that, definitely not. So I'll grab the parts and we'll have a look. Alright, here we go, we're recording. G'day everyone, got my lovely assistant on the camera today, but we're going to remove this air filter housing. I've already loosened this hose clamp, which didn't need much loosening because it was actually loose already. So we're going to look at the inside of this pipe and see if it's been sucking dirt in. Shouldn't have been, but this air filter housing actually has torque screws in it, which is well, it's a lot better than a clip. At least you know that it's gonna seal. Be aware that if you're using a drill like this, you want to be using the torque limiter, and you want to start off at the lowest torque setting because you should be using a hand wrench. You shouldn't be using a drill. I'm using a drill because I don't know where my damn wrenches are. So anyway, no, that was fairly painless. The screws are designed to not just fall out. Another important check I like to do is to just look at the inside here and make sure no dirt's been getting past. It hasn't been. This filter's well due for a change. You can put this on the ground, but to make sure it can't get damaged, don't leave it under the bonnet because you might accidentally slam the bonnet on the filter housing if you get distracted. So put it on the ground or on the bench this way. You know, that way it can't get dirty or anything, but you really don't want to leave it open like that either. Let's have a close look at this filter in the housing. Let's actually look at where it is, if you want to come in closer maybe. This is the filters, well due for a change, as you can see. This filter is not, I don't know if it's genuine or not because it's got nothing written on it, so it looks like a real filter. Yeah, it's well due for a change. This is a really dirty filter, so I'd say this just didn't get changed when it should have been. Yeah, I don't know if that's, you know, who knows, maybe the mechanic just didn't think it was time yet, but yeah, I like inspecting the filters. The housing probably should be cleaned out, so I'm not going to, it's not really that, oh no, it's tight. I'm not going to go cleaning that out, but the, yeah, maybe I'll just blow it out with my mouth. Oh, what's holding this on? We've got a couple of captives I mean. What I won't do is get the vacuum cleaner out and just vacuum it because I don't have compressed air and I really want to clean that. I don't want it to stay like that because it'll just dirty the new filter, but this might give you an idea of how dirty this filter is. Like, well due for a change. I can blow through it so it's not critically dirty, but yeah, you know, like, that's what it's supposed to look like and that's what it does, so I'm glad I got a filter. I'm assuming the plugs haven't been done for a while either, but yeah. So I'm going to vacuum this. I'm not going to bore you guys with that, but yes, okay. Obviously if it looks like that and you're not equipped with an air compressor or whatever, get out your vacuum cleaner. As long as it's dry, or you got a wet and dry vac. If it's not, just vacuum all the crap out of it because the filter will last longer because it won't suck up all the shit. So also note there's not been dirt getting past the or not much dirt getting past this duct, and give this a good clean out. You know, get all that dirt away from it so that when you assemble it you don't accidentally get dirt sucked into the motor. Alright, well, we'll end the video there and we'll resume once this is clean.
So, yep.
Okay, well, that airbox is a whole lot cleaner. Compressed air would have done maybe a better job, but yeah. It's worth cleaning the dirt out of this because if you're getting a close up there. We're getting the dirt out of here because, yeah, otherwise when you plant it, when you boot it, it'll just suck all the dirt from there into the filter. So there is enough light. Well, it's getting a bit dark, but I got the filter. Note that it's actually, you know, it's got to go that way around. That's why it's got this writing here on the side. But that's because the filter isn't actually, it's got different corners on it. But obviously the channel here goes down and the writing obviously goes up. So it's pretty much as simple as that from what I can see. First time I've ever done an air filter on one of these, but you really should go and wash your hands while you're doing this, but you know, a couple of bits here and there is not going to make any difference. It's not going to suck it in. They're very interesting filters, these things. They're really quite remarkable, their ability to absorb. You know, make sure this lid's clean, because if it's dusty or whatever, and just get a dustpan and brush. Stones or junk dropping off it. But yeah, make sure it's clean, because this is the clean side. So, you know, I don't know where the hell I put that dustpan. If you just stay there, Holly. It doesn't have to be, you know, if you don't have compressed air, which is the best way of cleaning it, by the way, it doesn't really take much. Just, you know, this is the flat side, so the side with the V on the filter goes down. Make sure you get into all the nooks and crannies and stuff. It doesn't have to be absolutely pristine, but the cleaner it is, the cleaner the air going into the engine is. Make sure the brush that you're using is not going to leave any crap behind. There's no junk around here that can interfere with the seal. I'll just stick that on top of the motor. I've given this a clean already, so this is nice and clean. There's nothing really much to it, but make sure you do that clamp up properly. That one wasn't as tight as it should have been, so that's really important, because that'll just suck crap into the engine. So it looks like you got to flop this out of the way. It's a small nuisance to do an air filter, but these filters, I think they last a fair while. I don't think they need changing that often. Before you go screwing the screws in, just make sure everything's where it should be, because you don't want to bust a filter and have to go pay for another one. Hose clamp area, obviously, it is getting dark, isn't it? I'll have to get the torch. It's rude where we are. Should have actually moved the car, but obviously where the notches are, it just sort of abuts up to this part here. It's, you know, so push it on. You can't put it on further than it's supposed to. But yeah, it's really important to tighten that up, because there's a little cutout in the rubber bit, a little moulded bit for the actual body of the clamp to go on, so it can only go in the right position. There's self-tappers, so it's not really very critical to start screwing them in by hand or anything. Start off with the lowest torque setting. I'm going to do 2 bolts up opposite each other. You can see why they've designed it like that, but just before you go cinching it down too much, have a look with your torch, with your light, whatever. Bump my head on the strut. Yeah. Just make sure there's no filter sticking out where it shouldn't be, because when you tighten it, you might end up damaging the filter. So just tighten it up on the lowest setting to start with. They're pretty good already, so filter compresses a fair bit. This is the way you make sure you don't damage anything. Now I'm just going to screw this up a few settings, and I'm going to very carefully make sure I don't over tighten it. Yeah. On this drill it's like, I don't know, 4.5 or whatever. Torque setting seems to be pretty good. It's definitely tight. Don't want to over tighten them or under tighten them. If they're not tight enough, then the filter won't seal. If they're too tight, you'll damage the airbox and you'll have to pay for one. Especially if you're working on a customer's car like I am today. If you damage shit, you're going to pay for it. So, you know, be very careful. Just don't forget to tighten up the hose clamp. I'm not going to bother boring you guys with that, but that's the rough procedure, and skews the roughness of, well, when I say roughness, I mean the not so polished DIY video here, because, or how-to DIY video I should say, because I've never done a filter in one of these things before, and it's different, and you know, it's all pretty sort of similar to everything else, like an air filter's an air filter. But yeah, like I said, the old filter, you know, you can still see light through it, but yeah, it's grey. That's the clean side. So yep, they're pretty good systems, really. That filter I wouldn't mind to, I don't know what's in the middle, probably nothing, so probably no point chopping it up or anything, but it's a air filter, it's dirty, and now it's been replaced. So thanks for watching, and yeah, have fun working on your own stuff.